Hello, this is Ed Spicer, and welcome to www.spicyreads.org. This is Guadalupe Garcia McCall's speech at the Morris Celebration at American Library Association Convention in Dallas. Enjoy.
I didn't know that it was going to be like Well, I received the news that I was a finalist for the Morris Award while I was in class. I was in the middle of teaching my 7th graders how to invent accessory details in their revision when, to my embarrassment, my phone chirped in my pocket. We don't allow students to use the phone, so I kept teaching. I didn't check it until the break. That's when I saw the message from Emily Hazel, my editor at YALSA, telling me the exciting news. And how appropriate that I should find out this award while I was teaching, because that's how it all began. I wrote Swimming the Rio Grande in class for my students in early 1998 because I was trying to model the process of writing a narrative poem by focusing on a memory. I wrote that first poem 6 different times that day across 2 blackboards on the fly, erasing it and starting over again for every class. But each time I wrote it, the memory of that day in the Rio Grande with my father and my mother and my family became more and more vivid in my mind. And I remembered things I had forgotten, and my heart swelled with love. And so it went. Every day I wrote new poems for my students to model the use of similes and metaphors and personification and every other literary device out there. And every day I relived my life in poetic form. It was a joyful process. At the end, my students and I had our very own collections of poems, words that recorded our memories, our lives. Only my collection grew over the years until it became so big that it looked like a book. And that is what Emily got, a collection of memories, like little windows into a young girl's life. I am so thankful that she peeked in those little windows and saw me. I mean, really saw me there in those pages, sitting under the shade of the mesquite in our front yard in Eagle Pass. Well, when she asked me if I would be willing to work with her on creating a novel in verse using some of those poems, I was so thrilled, so excited. I said yes, right away. Of course I could do this, I told myself. It was a golden opportunity, the chance of a lifetime. And so it began, our journey to fictionalizing a lifetime of memories. To reinvent the life along the Rio Grande. To give a young woman the courage and wisdom that she would need to take strength from pain, to navigate darkness, to make meaning out of loss, even as her world fell apart. But as I structured the book and thought about characters and conflict and theme, I began to consider the job I had accepted, the task I was undertaking, and it became very clear very quickly to me that this was not about me getting published at all, but about the young people who would be opening the pages of my book, leaving their little fingerprints. When I came to this understanding, the responsibility of it hit me. And I found myself thinking about my own reading experiences during my teen years. I reflected on the choices I made in picking books, the motivation behind those choices, and I remembered the ambiguity, the muddled emotions, the sense of turmoil and bereavement that I was going through as a young woman. I remember being hungry for understanding. I wanted above all else to be moved, to be enlightened, to find solutions to my problems. And the books I came to love opened my eyes. They showed the world to me. Like friends, they were there to comfort me. They helped me to find myself. In a way, they empowered me. That's when I realized I had to write not to get published, but to be read. I wanted young people to connect with my book, to have it make an impact on them. I wanted my book to help them. You see, I have taught many Lupitas in my 23 years in the classroom. I've listened to them talk, to me and to each other. But I've also read their innermost thoughts, their dreams, their fears, their triumphs, their losses. Sometimes their stories just spill out of them. Sometimes they keep their pain tucked away where no one can see it. I wrote this story for those young people who cannot talk about it, for those who are struggling alone in the dark. I wanted to show them that they have great strength within them, that human spirit is resilient, that the loss of a loved one does not mean the end of loss, that we carry that love inside, that we can take it with us. It is ours forever. I also want young people to realize that the dreams that our loved ones have for us do not die when our loved ones are gone. They are gifts bestowed upon us like wings. And to make those dreams come true is to honor their spirit and their love. In Spanish, ala means wing. I find that fascinating. Because in essence, that is what YALSA does with Allah. Bestow wings upon books so that they might fly as far, as wide as they need to fly in order to reach the most important destination of all, the young reader's mind. By honoring our books today, Allah and YALSA has made more than our dreams come true. They have allowed our words to take flight, to soar, to glide and reach young people wherever they may live. So I came here today to personally thank you for bestowing wings upon my little book. In honoring it, you honor my culture, my heritage, mi familia. But most importantly, you honor my mother's short but very, very significant life. And that means the world to me. Thank you. I mean that from the very depths of mi corazón. I am and always will be grateful for this gift. Mil gracias.
This is Ed Spicer at www.spicyreads.org, and that was Guadalupe Garcia McCall, one of the Morris finalists, speaking in Dallas at the YALSA reception for the Morris winners.